Three, two, one. Hello.
Welcome to Background Noise. We're back.
For now, my name is Eric.
My name is Kaysee.
And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about some Reddit stories. Some from Am I the A-hole? Some from Am I the Devil? Some from
Petty Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was it.
Yeah, I think so. But buckle up, because these are some wild and scandalous stories. Not really scandalous, but...
And they're not really that wild, but they're good.
Okay. We're going to be talking about some fun stories.
All right. This story is from the subreddit True Off My Chest, and it's posted by Anonymous Stories. Ooh. And it's called, I ignored my husband so much that he went away without telling me.
Whoa.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I, Carla, 30, am 6 months pregnant with mine and my husband's, Harry, 31, first child. During this pregnancy, I've been very exhausted every day and would usually come home from work and go to bed an hour later. Then I'd wake up at midnight and reheat what Harry had made us for dinner. For context, I've been part of a huge work project that's been going on for months, and I've been extremely overworked. On top of this, my husband doesn't have a job at this moment and isn't looking for one unless I remind him. I've been working overtime to get as much money as I can before maternity leave. Our anniversary was on the 6th of August, and I'd asked him if we could have a romantic dinner at home and then snuggle up to watch TV under a warm blanket. I thought it was a wonderful idea since I was too tired to go out and because I knew that Harry was doing most, if not all, of the household chores. However, he seemed a little annoyed, then he agreed, but I thought nothing of it. The next morning, Harry seemed quite cold towards me and barely looked me in the eyes. Once I got home from work, he wasn't there, but that was normal since he could have been out with friends or at an interview, and so I went to sleep. I woke up at 11 that night to see that I was still alone in the house, so I checked my phone. I had about 8 missed calls from Harry and a long text. I'm summarizing, but the text read, I understand how tired you are because of this pregnancy and you having to work extra hours most days. But I'm over being ignored every day and having a 5-minute conversation with you every so often. You expect me to do all the housework and plan our boring anniversary alone. I'm really annoyed, so I'm staying at a friend's tonight. Text me when you see this. Of course, I called him and texted him about being sorry and wanting to talk, but I never got an answer. In the morning, I called my boss about having a day off and spent most of it waiting for Harry and planning my apology. However, when he came home, he silently handed me a rose and a card saying that he loves me, but needs a few days away from me to figure out what he's going to say/do. Then those days became a week. This part happened on the 13th, 8 days later. I messaged him every day, and he was constantly saying he needed one more day or just another night at his friend's to figure this all out. But on the 13th, I decided to go to the friend's home he was staying at to confront him. So I drove over nearly 30 minutes away and banged on the door so hard that I could hear it echo from inside. By this point, I'd realized that I should have put more effort into our relationship, but he also should have talked to me about this instead of running away. Harry's friend came to the door and was confused but pleased to see me. He seemed a little on edge as I talked to him, and he had to break the silence every so often with comments about my pregnancy and how he couldn't wait to meet the baby. Finally, we stopped talking, and I practically demanded to see Harry, saying that I wanted to apologize, but also explain how childish he was being by hiding from me. The thing that I found absolutely hilarious, but actually not at all, was that his friend said that Harry wasn't there and had left for Ireland on the 9th. Ireland? To say I was absolutely beyond furious and extremely confused would be such an under. His friend invited me in and sat me down to talk.
This is wild.
This is wild.
Ireland?
And why didn't he just say, well, he probably didn't want to get in trouble for going on a trip without her. But,
this is psycho.
That's weird. She needs to break up with this guy.
Yeah, what the heck? Okay, continue on. I'm getting a drink.
All right. Turns out that Harry had told his friend of our problems and had come up with a solution of going on a holiday as a couple to sort everything out and learn to love each other again, in Harry's words. So, of course, his friend thought that was a lovely idea and helped him to book a flight on the evening of the 5th, the first time he had stayed at his friend's house. Since it was a last-minute booking, Harry's friend had stayed up with him for quite a while before they found a flight who was taking a few more passengers due to canceled tickets. His friend then explained how he had been confused when I arrived at the door, but didn't want to say anything about the holiday in case it had ended early due to us arguing. Harry's return ticket is booked for the 20th of August. I'm just so angry and quite heartbroken, to be completely honest.
The 20th of August. The 9th of August to the 20th of August.
Like, when did this happen?
Probably this year.
This
It's one
was
day
posted
ago.
a day ago.
This is fresh meat.
This is happening to her currently.
Oh my gosh.
This is like, she's waiting. He's coming home in 4 days.
Oh my gosh. We're recording this on August 16th.
I messaged him the moment his friend had finished talking, and Harry only responded an hour ago with nothing more than had to figure things out. Sorry. He's out with somebody else.
Oh, for sure.
Someone
He
else
bought 2 tickets. They planned a trip. Harry and his friend, I don't think the
Cheater.
friend is great.
He's been probably
like,
cheating on her this whole time.
You're probably right, but the friend is like, let's set this up, like, because Harry was saying, like,
the
oh, I
friend
want
is
to go.
so nice and is helping him plan
Yeah.
so that they can fix their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? What the heck is that? Had to figure things out. Sorry? No, you're not sorry.
No, you're
That's
not.
the stupidest response I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, you're like, don't explain yourself.
So now I'm home alone again and trying to figure out what I'm going to do and say when he gets home. Anyway, thanks for reading about how my life's going. Side note, I'm from the UK, so Ireland isn't as far as people think it is. I'm not American, but it is still so far. Other side note, a question that keeps repeating is, where did he get the money from without you noticing? So I'll leave my explanation from the comments here. He has a bank account with his money from when he worked as a teenager and a little into his 20s before we met. And a few years ago, we agreed not to touch that money and add to it every so often. It was a backup savings account. So I'm assuming that he took the money from there since it wasn't from the joint account. Honestly, I feel like she's blaming it all on herself, which, yeah, it's important to spend time with your significant other.
Yeah.
But I don't think it all is to blame on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he was so overdramatic.
Yeah, all he had to do is say, can we talk? And sit down with each other and talk like 2 30 and 31-year-old adults and say, hey, this is how I feel. And it really upsets me that you planned our anniversary without even talking to me.
There's comments that are saying you need to be at the airport to see who he went to Ireland with. She 100% needs to know who he went to Ireland with.
Yeah, really? That's crazy. But yeah, all he needed to do was sit down and talk to her. I understand saying, I need a day to, like, get my thoughts. That's understandable. That's actually a very mature thing to be like, I really just need to collect my thoughts before we talk about this. But he shouldn't have just left and never came back.
No. That was... And he lied about it. He's like, I'm at my friend's. I need another day.
Yeah, he was at his friend's and then he's not. And he hasn't been.
He was at his friend for like a day.
That means he's been in Ireland for 7 days at this point.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
I think prison.
So this story is from Petty Revenge, and it was posted by Detective Quacky.
Love that name.
Me too. And its title is Pester Me to the Breaking Point, Then I'll Have to Frame You.
Oh my gosh.
A bit of backstory. There was this kid.
We hate that. We hate when people say that. Obviously, you have to give backstory. It's a story.
The whole thing is a backstory.
It's a backstory. It's called a story.
And
okay.
I feel like if they say a bit of backstory, instantly, they were the one in the wrong.
Well, we'll see. I don't remember this story. What? I don't know this story, I mean.
There was this kid who had been pestering me for years. I couldn't never focus. That's a double negative. I couldn't never focus.
Couldn't never focus?
I couldn't ever focus. I couldn't ever focus on any work because he kept distracting me. Something me and this kid had in common was our voice, which will come in handy later. Oh yeah, I was a pretty sensitive kid back then, and teachers pretty much knew me as the kid who never got in trouble. Although everyone, even the teachers, knew the kid had always bullied me. This guy, I feel like everyone on Reddit, they can't actually put English together.
No, they really can't, but I can't tell you I've not done the same. With typing, a lot of times you just forget words because your brain puts it in automatically.
Yep. All right. The story. This takes place in my math class. During class, he started to tease me, and I was starting to get pretty upset. I was reaching the breaking point, and he just kept on pushing. I got to the point where I stared at him dead in the eyes and yelled at the top of my lungs, "Shut up." He was shocked.
He didn't say shut up. He said STFU, if you know what that means.
He was shocked. I smirked, then began to cry my best fake cry. I'm really good at a fake cry. The teacher bolted back. Oh my gosh. Bolted. The teacher bolted back into the room, looked at me, and asked him what happened. What did you say to him? He was dumbfounded. Why me? He turned to the rest of the class, looking for someone to back him up, but everyone thought he said it. The teacher finally had something on him. He was brought straight to the principal. I don't know what he said or what the principal said, but he ended up being suspended for a week.
Oh my gosh. That's actually so karma.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
That's
so funny.
The bully
deserved it. Okay, this one's, am I the a-hole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my car after she refused to hand our nephew his toy? And it's by Throwaway One. My one brother has a 3-year-old. My other brother and his wife are child-free. I don't know if they want kids in the future, but they don't have any plans at the moment. My child-free sister-in-law, Beth, is being a bit weird about my nephew. Every time he's sad or cries or is upset, she always says stuff like, "Don't fall for it. He's manipulating you. He knows exactly what he's doing." I don't know. It's a bit weird to me. Like, he's 3. It's ridiculous, actually. I took my nephew out to the grocery store to run some errands with me, and while we were leaving, we ran into Beth. She asked if I could give her a ride, and I said sure. Now, my nephew has a toy that he really likes, and I tossed it onto the passenger seat after he had dropped it while he was getting out of the car. I had forgotten I had put it there as Beth sat down in the passenger seat and failed to mention it. My nephew suddenly started crying in his seat because he couldn't find the toy, and that's when I remembered that I left it on the passenger seat. I was going to ask Beth to hand it to him, but she shook her head at me. She was like, "You can do it. Let it pass. He's trying to manipulate you into giving him what he wants." I said, "Okay, can you just pass him the toy? It's somewhere near you." She rolled her eyes at me and said, "You don't get it. He's crying to get something from you." I told her, "Yes, that is why kids his age cry or make noise." She got frustrated and said she read a book about it, and if I give him the toy, he'll cry every time he wants something. I told her that he's just panicked because he adores that specific toy, and I promised him it would be safe in the car, but he can't find it, so he thinks his toy is missing, and he thinks I lied. She told me to stop reaching and started ignoring me, so I parked the car in the grocery store parking lot again and told her to get out and ask my brother or a friend for a ride because I'm done. She was shocked but left after insisting that I'm going to create a spoiled brat. My brain was exploding because my nephew was still crying, so I ignored her and just grabbed the toy and gave it to my nephew, who was very grateful. Side note, she put the toy in the side pocket of the door.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm. And then she said she very childishly flipped me off while I drove away and thought that was it. And I thought that was it. But she sent me a screenshot of some article about manipulative child behavior, and my brother called me to ask if she was telling the truth about what I did. He didn't really say anything, but am I the a-hole? I think not.
I feel like they're not the a-hole.
You asked her to give him the toy. And he wanted his toy.
Wouldn't. And he's, what, 3?
3 years old.
The person's right. The person who wrote this is right. They cry because of the things they need.
Yeah, they don't know how to talk. Not the level of us. Yeah.
Not the level of an adult. It's like, I can hear you, but I just don't understand you.
Yeah, yeah, literally. Absolutely not the a-hole. I'm actually really shocked.
That is
that she was
weird.
like, no, he can't have his toy. He's just trying to manipulate you.
And then she had the toy and put it in the door?
Yeah.
Absolutely
and she's
not.
like, no, you get it. I'm driving. I can't. You get it and hand it to me and I'll give it to the baby.
She secretly put it in the door. Because he's like reaching behind him.
Yeah, you're right.
Or her, I don't know.
Because she didn't say anything about the toy. She just put it in the door. That's weird. Yeah, I wouldn't talk to her ever again.
No.
Jail. I commit her to prison. So my next story is, am I the a-hole for making my husband change the cookie recipe? And it's by Available Nobody 285. I, 32 female, woke up from a nap to my husband, 34 male, rummaging around in the kitchen. I asked what he was doing and he was very secretive about it. Curious, I went up and into the kitchen to see that he had set up baking equipment and was starting to make cookies using wheat flour. No, I'm not saying that because I hate that phrase. I'm a celiac, gluten intolerant, and I've been diagnosed with it since I was weaned from breast milk at around 1 year old. When we cook at home, we make gluten-free food, but of course, if it's, say, hamburger, my husband eats a regular bun. Now, back to the story. I was a bit annoyed at the fact that he decided to bake a batch of cookies knowing that I wouldn't be able to eat them, so I asked him to please make them using gluten-free flour instead. Here's where we disagree. He thinks since he was just making a snack for himself, it shouldn't matter what flour he used. I mean, that by using that flour, he selfishly made a snack he couldn't share with me. His argument was also that gluten-free cookies don't taste as good. He's probably right, but I wouldn't know. And other than that, it's been unused, which is why we had it in the house. So that's the story.
That's it?
Yeah, but he was making a snack for himself while you were sleeping, and he's somehow the problem?
No,
like,
you're the problem.
If I was making a snack for me and, like, my brother just came in and said, you didn't make it for me? I'd be like, absolutely not. You didn't want one. Exactly. You were sleeping. Why would I ask you? You're sleeping.
Yeah, I'm not going to wake you up out of your nice, peaceful dreams.
Well, and
I don't have peaceful dreams.
You do not have peaceful dreams. And the fact that he was being very secretive about it to me.
It was weird.
I catch something in that. I think she's probably doesn't react well to things that she doesn't like when he says something.
Probably.
Like, she probably gets, like, if she doesn't like it, it's wrong. Mm-hmm. That's like what I'm, like, why would he be secretive about making cookies? But everyone in the comments is like, you're the a-hole, you're the a-hole.
Yeah,
and then she posted an edit and said, I've accepted that I'm the a-hole. I apologize to my husband and promised to bake him cookies with wheat flour tomorrow as an apology.
Maybe she just was not having a good moment.
I was going to say, everyone has bad days. But doesn't mean she wasn't an a-hole. But doesn't mean she's an a-hole in her whole life, obviously.
Well, and she took the feedback well. And she's like, I apologize to my husband. I feel like that was very mature.
Very mature to apologize.
Well, we don't know if she really did, but...
I assume so, because it does say edit. Why would you edit it and lie? Mm-hmm. They're random people on the internet. They don't affect your life.
All right. So... this story was posted on the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? And yes, it was, but it was reposted, cross-posted onto Am I the Devil?
So sorry.
Which means they probably are the A-hole if it was reposted on Am I the Devil? So, this is called, Am I the A-hole for letting my stepkids call me mom? I moved in with my fiance, 28, male, earlier this year. He has 2 kids, Sally, 4 female, and Dan, 3 male. The kids are under split custody, so half the time with dad, half the time with bio mom. I have met her and the kids before in person. She came off as a decent person, and we never had any issues. Not an exact measure of time, but 2 to 3 months ago, Sally would randomly call me mom, or most commonly mama, like before going to bed as we tuck them in and say our good nights. It was an odd adjustment, but I know they're little, and I mostly brushed it off with a, okay, good night, honey. Dan, it was okay, as long as they wanted to. Sally has her own... oh my gosh. Sally has, on her own, made it clear to us at least that she has 2 moms and 1 dad. Bio mom's BF doesn't want to be involved with the kids.
Aww.
That's sad. Both kids understand they came from their mom's belly and not mine. Dad and I went to drop off the kids to Mom as usual, no issues. I stay in the car and she leaves with the kids, nothing crazy. As Dad and I were driving home, Mom calls and I told him to answer but let her know she's on speaker with both of us. So he answers, lets her know I can hear the convo. She starts off aggressively stating, I don't know who's telling these kids that you are their mom, but you need to know you will never be their mom, etc., etc. I told her the kids chose to call me mom, and we explained to them that I'm not their real mom, just an extra mom. She still did not like that, and went on about how it hurts her feelings that the kids are saying she isn't their mom anymore, and all this nonsense. I got firm quickly and explained that I understand why it would hurt her feelings, but I don't believe what she's saying because of what I have heard the kids say themselves. I allow the kids to call me mom because they see me as a maternal figure, and it's about how they feel, not parentheses, her insecurities. She then went on to not only scream at him and I on the phone, but in her car, in front of her kids, you both are pieces of poo, and these kids are mine, not yours. I hope you both go to heck. And honestly, I can't make out much more of what she said, as most of it was unintelligible. Did I say that right?
Unintelligible? Yeah, you did.
After the kids' weekend with her, they came back and were sad because their bio mom said I'm not allowed to be their mom. I asked them, do you want me to be your other mom? They both said yes. So I told them that if they want me to be another mom to them, I can be. My heart breaks because these kids really seem to love me, and I do love them. Am I the a-hole?
No, absolutely not. I'm so confused. Why do they think they're the a-hole? What?
I'm wondering why this was posted on Am I the Devil, because...
Oh.
What?
Just some of the comments. People are saying...
Well, she could be, and just, stating it in, that she's the victim.
I don't know. That's what one of the comments was saying. What if it's the mom's...
Well,
I want to hear it from the bio mom's side of the story.
Well, yeah, there's 2 sides to every story in all of these. But the way that she was saying it, I feel like she's not. Just her side of the story. But we don't know the other side of the story.
Yeah, that's true. But why is
they
it
are really young, and so they can't... I feel like at that point, can they really choose that they want to be calling her mom? I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not so sure she is the a-hole.
But we just don't have a lot of backstory.
But we don't have any of the backstory. We don't have the actual bio mom's side.
True.
And it's weird how I think she says bio mom. Like she adopted them and they're hers.
Right, yeah. But they're not married.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have any custody or anything.
Special friend. So she totally could have had an affair.
Yeah, the language is a bit odd.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they definitely did have an age-appropriate conversation from her point of view. Just her point of view, because we don't know any backstory or other people's point of view.
Yeah.
And said, it is your choice.
Yeah.
If you want to call me.
Well, here's the thing. I can understand where the mom would be upset that they are calling her mom, because,
that's a hard thing.
It's not their mom.
Yeah.
Technically. They're not, step... anything, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But one thing was saying, I don't think that's am I the devil?
No.
I don't think she's a devil.
No,
because we're not even sure the am I the a-hole is blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Too. I don't know. I don't think that one is, but if we heard any more backstory, that would obviously make it easier to decide. But it's not really necessarily we're really deciding. It's kind of just
I feel like that one's lines are blurred. We need every part of the story.
Yeah, to really
even get anywhere close to.
Yeah, but the way the mom responded
was a dramatic.
But that makes me think something else may be happening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just we don't have enough information.
No, we really don't. All right, you guys, that is our last story. And that's all we've got for you today. Thank you for listening.
We'll see you next time.
Which, who knows when that'll
We'll
be.
hear you. No, we won't. You'll hear us next time.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully sometime this month.
Hopefully we can get started again.
Yeah.
Our mic has been having problems.
It's been having a lot of problems.
So we're just talking into the phone today, and hopefully you'll listen.
Sounds okay. And also, just a quick update. School is starting pretty soon for us. So unfortunately. But that means that the consistency that we have already been lacking will be even less consistent.
Yes.
So we're going to try to get as many episodes up as we can because we love doing this podcast. But if you don't hear from us for months at a time, that's why.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Wish us luck.
Yeah, wish us luck. I only have one school year left. So
I have like 3 left.
I know. I'm almost about to have a bachelor's. Anyways, this is like just an update for life.
Yeah, just update. We'll see you next time.
But we're never done.
I love you.
Yeah, we do love you. And
you're loved.
You're loved.
Always remember you're loved.
Yeah.
And you're still learning.
All right, bye. Sounds like a voicemail or something.
It does. Oh.
Is this working? Are you work? Do you have working?
Do you have a life? Listen.
Listen up. Ew.
Get rid of that.
Yeah, cut that right out.
Oh my gosh, let me restart. Like